Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. As you can see here, I have got some lightweight spackle. You might be wondering, why do you have lightweight spackle? But I also have these piping bags and some fake fruits as well as some wooden hearts, and I am going to be making fake cakes today. So let's get into it. I've got 3 wooden boxes here, and all of them actually are little jewelry dishes, so they open up on the inside, but I've got 3 different sizes, and I actually have 2 of each one, and I want to transform them into cakes. First, I'm starting off with this little one because it's going to be my test subject. I have never done this before, and I have never even piped a cake before, so this is all very new to me. I'm using my acrylic paint in order to paint the boxes and also color the spackle, but up first, I'm just giving this box a nice coat of paint. That way, if anything shows through after I ice it, it will still look pink and not wooden. After applying the paint in various methods, including just putting it straight onto the box and straight onto the paintbrush, then it was finally time to start experimenting with these piping bags. So like I said, I have literally never piped a cake before. I know some basics by mostly watching videos that show you how to pipe cakes, but other than that, I really don't know much. So we have all of these tools. Most of them I don't know what are for, and I have 100 disposable piping bags. I decided to use disposable piping bags because I also want to make real cakes, but I don't ever want to mix spackle with real icing. You kind of understand why. Here are the piping tips. I put them on my fingers so you could see them better, and now it's time to start actually making the icing for the cake. So I took a cup and tried to cut it up, and that was a disaster, and it really messed up the structural integrity of this cup, but anyway, I just went along with it anyway. Here is the spackle, which was incredibly hard to open, but once I finally got it open, I could now go ahead and start making all of the colors that I was going to need to pipe and decorate the cakes. So now I'm just adding in a whole bunch of spackle, and I'm using acrylic paint to color the spackle into the colors that I need to pipe the cake with. So here I am just mixing it up into this beautiful pink color, and I thought this was perfect, and I'm just going straight in with this little palette knife and spreading this all around the cake and treating it just like it is frosting. And honestly, this stuff looks and feels just like frosting. It's pretty incredible, actually. It's just the nicest forbidden frosting that you can come up with, and I love it so much. It was really satisfying to put onto the box. It was really hard, though, to get smooth. I decided I needed to separate the trinket box and put it open. That way I didn't accidentally seal it shut with the spackle. So I decided to put some erasers in there to prop up the lid, and then I smoothed out the rest of the base, just trying to give it a nice smooth base layer, pushed it over to the side. That way I could create more frosting, and I didn't do any color for this one. I wanted to create some decorations on the top, so this is me kind of getting ready to test that out. Like I said, everything is new, everything's a mystery, so here I am doing a little test pipe on paper here, just right in the middle of my workstation. Not really sure why I chose to do that, so I had to move it off to the side, which was a little bit challenging, but once I got it off to the side, it was time to start officially piping onto the cake. So here is my first attempt at piping onto the cake. It was really satisfying, and I was actually really impressed with the shapes that I was able to make, but after I put all of my designs on, I thought, you know, this is looking okay. I think it looks really cool, and I think it's going to work out, but this is just not the right design. So I had to make the tough decision to completely scrape off all of that spackle and try a new design. For the new design, I decided to start out with more pink frosting, creating this kind of snake-like shape on the top. No idea if there's actually technical terms for all of these frosting techniques, but I'm just kind of winging it. That's kind of the really good thing about having no idea what you're doing. You can just do whatever you want, and there's not really limitations because you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. So after I piped on all of the pink frosting, then it was time to try the white again. So this time I just made 3 giant blobs of white frosting, and then I went ahead and placed on those fake fruits and decided to do raspberries. After my super simple test design was complete, it is now time to move on to the large heart jewelry box. So for this one, I'm just going in with straight black paint and just painting the entire thing with this base coat. I decided for this one, I'm not going to do a layer of spackle for the base because I'm going to do a lot of piping on this one. I feel like an expert at this point. I've already done one tiny little baby cake, so at this point, I'm feeling really confident in my abilities to decorate this cake. Maybe a little too confident, but we'll see. And I want to do a really fun design with this one and make it kind of a spooky vibe cake. So first, I'm just going ahead and using some white frosting to pipe some lines onto the cake that are going to create a spider web effect. At least that is the goal, and I'm using this super thick little piping tip here to just kind of create a whole spiral effect, trying to keep it as stable and steady as possible, but kind of the fun in it is that it isn't perfect. And then I decided to add in the little webbing details with little waves throughout, and just did that all over the entire design. And once I had all of the webbing figured out, then I decided to try and smooth it all out just a little bit to make it look a little bit neater and just give myself a flatter base. That way when I pipe things on later, it's not super chunky. So I just smoothed everything out with my palette knife, and now it's time to create more colors. The last cake was just 2 colors. You know, we had some white, we had some pink, but for this one, I am not going simple. I'm going grand. So I'm going to create a lot of different colors for this cake. The first color being orange, because name a spookier color. So I'm going ahead and adding in some orange, of course mixing that up, and now I'm trying out a new piping tip, but this one and me just were not friends. We were not vibing, so I had to scrap that design again, and I decided we're going to try something else, something a little bit different, and I decided to add a whole bunch of little swoops on the side of the cake, being sure to leave a space for the jewelry box to still open because I didn't want to make it unusable by covering it with spackle. And then after I created the designs of orange on the side, I went ahead to the top and added in a whole bunch of little dots around the rim, knowing they would be covered up later. Now it's time for yet another design mistake where I tried to create a fun pink design on the top, but it really just wasn't working out. So instead I just smoothed all of the pink back out and decided to try again. That's when a mini disaster happened and my red paint decided to explode all over the place, even getting on the side of my cake, which was a little disappointing, but it's okay, it just looks even spookier now. And then I mixed up some more pink, that way I could create this adorable design on top, and it was looking so much better than the original design. And now it's time to add in some purple frosting as well. Like I said, for this one, I am going grand. I want there to be a whole bunch of different colors and a whole bunch of different piping all over the cake. Little details, big details, all of the details. Too bad you really can't see me doing a lot of the purple. My hand decided to be the star of the show for a moment here. But anyway, after that, this is what it was looking like. And I decided to add purple on the sides as well, just to tie it into the design a little bit more. So I added in all of this little detail on the sides here, making sure to match them up. You can see the red accident there, which is pretty spooky and kind of cool. I decided not to fix the red because I knew I would just mess it up more if I tried to fix it, so I left the little accident in there. It'll be like a little Easter egg. And then I finished piping out all of the purple, which took a lot of time to make all of those dots, but it was worth it. I also decided to add a purple line at the bottom, which you think would be really simple and easy, but it actually was not that easy to do because spackle kind of gets sticky and tacky really quickly, so it was kind of hard to work with at some points, but I just kept on pushing through even though it was out to get me. I swear. Do you see this just attacking me? I made the mistake of accidentally putting it into the bag instead of mixing more ink, which this time the red cooperated, unlike last time. And then it was time to pipe more pink around the base of the cake. I've been wanting to make fake cakes for forever. I just think it is so fun and so satisfying, and I love the idea of putting that much hard work into a project and not just eating it afterwards, because that would be so kind of discouraging to spend 3 hours piping a cake and then eating it in a minute. Okay, granted not a minute, but you get what I mean. So anyway, then I went ahead and started trying to add more detail to the original, but I kind of had a brain fart and accidentally piped directly onto paper, which obviously spackle and paper would not mix well, so instead I switched to parchment. That way when the spackle dries, I can hopefully just remove the cakes really easily without messing up the designs. And now it's time to finalize this cake with some white dollops and some black cherries on top for extra spooky vibes. And this was such a fun project. Like I said, I've been wanting to do it for forever, and it was actually so much more fun and satisfying than I thought it would be. If you also want to make cakes like these and do this same project, I'm going to link all of the materials and supplies that I used down below. That way you can shop it and also make cakes like this, because this was actually really fun, but you will also need a lot of patience, just a fair warning. And then it was time to add in some final details. Extra was more in this case, more was more, and I just had to keep adding more to every little empty space. And then the final detail that I added to this one was creating a little spooky spider in the middle, just to really add to that spiderweb effect and design of the spooky cake. And I think it turned out so cute and so cool, and I actually am really proud of how it turned out. Like I said, I have literally never piped a cake before ever, so for it to turn out this well, I'm pretty happy with that. I added in some final touches, and here is how they turned out. Let me know what you think about these. I think this project was so fun, and I also love that they're jewelry dishes so that you can actually use them for things too. But here is this adorable little test cake, which is pink and so pretty and cute, and here is the spooky cake. Let me know which one you liked better. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment either a spider or a cake emoji based off whichever cake you liked better. I have 4 more empty jewelry boxes, so if you want to see me make more cakes, comment down below and let me know what designs I should do for them. And if I inspire you to create a fake cake too, tag me on Instagram at Anchored Art Designs. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!